The dollar's dominance just hit a critical breaking point. While Washington threatens 100% tariffs on anyone who dares challenge their financial monopoly, BRICS nations are doing something different and innovative. They are building an entirely parallel global financial system. And it's not just talk anymore. The prototype is already working. I am here at Think BRICS, where we cut through mainstream narratives to show you what's really happening in the global power shift. Today we are covering four massive developments that the traditional media either ignore or completely misrepresent. First, India and China just resumed direct flights after 5 years. Why does this matter for the global economy? Second, the BRICS digital economy has crossed $6 trillion, and they're building an AI infrastructure that spans over 30 countries. Third, the financial sovereignty push, including BRICS Pay, digital assets generating 50 billion by 2030, and a new reinsurance network. And fourth, one South American nation just rejected BRICS membership. But wait until you hear why. It actually proves the multipolar point even stronger. If you want to stay ahead of these shifts, hit subscribe and check out our Substack newsletter. Let's get straight to the point. After more than 5 years, India and China are reconnecting their skies. We have been saying it a lot recently, but now it's official. Indigo announced flights starting October 26 between Kolkata and Guangzhou with daily service. Air India is planning Delhi to Shanghai routes using Boeing 787 Dreamliners. Delhi to Guangzhou is coming shortly after that. Of course, this isn't just about tourism. For 5 years, businesses had to route through Hong Kong or Singapore, adding costs and time. The timing tells you everything. This so comes right after the US imposed 50% tariffs on India for buying Russian oil. When external pressure tries to isolate BRICS members, they respond by strengthening internal bonds. Prime Minister Modi made his first visit to China since 2018, back in August. The border tensions from the 2020 Galwan Valley clashes haven't disappeared yet, but economic pragmatism is winning. What do you think drives these decisions more? Old conflicts or new economic realities? Drop your thoughts in the comments. These direct flights represent what medium and small businesses have called a big respite. They will increase people-to-people contact between the world's two most populous nations. Together, India and China represent a massive portion of the 55.6% of the global population that BRICS now encompasses. When Washington weaponizes tariffs, it accidentally creates stronger ties between the very nations it's trying to pressure. The BRICS digital economy has already exceeded $6 trillion. Let that number sink in for a second. These nations helped expand global digital commerce from just over 6 trillion in 2021 to more than 7.2 trillion in 2024. This is a real strategic growth, not accidental. The strategy for BRICS Economic Partnership 2025 puts digital infrastructure at the center. The 2025 BRICS Digital Economy and Trade Investment Forum in Beijing laid out the roadmap. 3 key areas: interconnected digital infrastructure, shared rules for cross-border data flow, and AI-driven industrial modernization. Here is where it gets concrete. In 2020, BRICS established an innovation base for partnership in the new industrial revolution. This year, construction started on the China BRICS AI Development and Cooperation Center. The BRICS Digital Ecosystem Cooperation Network now includes over 30 member countries. That includes Nigeria, Indonesia, and Ethiopia. Experts like Chen Hui from the BRICS Future Networks Institute say digital infrastructure is the fundamental tool for bringing the global digital divide. By prioritizing connectivity, BRICS is fostering economic exchanges in their own terms, not under surveillance systems controlled by Western intelligence agencies. This is about building a digital governance system that reflects the interests of the global majority, countries that represent the actual majority of humanity. Let me know below, do you think digital sovereignty matters as much as financial sovereignty? This is where things get serious. When Russian reserves got frozen in 2020, every BRICS nation learned the same lesson. Relying on dollar-based systems means your money can disappear overnight if you don't follow Washington's orders. BRICS Pay is the answer. It's a decentralized cross-border financial messaging system designed to replace SWIFT. The technical specs are impressive, up to 20,000 messages per second. It integrates Russia's SPFS, China's CIPS and Union Pay, India's UPI, and Brazil's PIX system. We had a really interesting chat with the CEO of BRICS Pay. If you want to know more, check out this video. So, Trump's threats of 100% tariffs on any nation adopting a BRICS currency actually accelerated this process. South Africa faced 30% tariffs, the highest for any African state. Brazil and India got hit with 50% tariffs. Every threat pushed these nations closer together. But the answer is a pragmatic approach, not one single BRICS currency, which faces political hurdles. Instead, three pathways. First, local currency trade. Russia reported that 90% of its BRICS trade in 2024 used national currencies. Pilot programs are active between Russia and China and between India and the United Arab Emirates. Second, digital financial assets, or CFAs. It's revolutionary. If that sounds a bit confusing, it basically means assets that are held or traded electronically and have a monetary value. So think of cryptocurrencies and tokenized securities. CFAs are projected to generate a cumulative economic effect of $50 billion by 2030. That's 12.5 billion annually. The market cap of the largest tokenized assets hit 70 billion in early 2025, more than doubling in 1 year. Russia's CFA circulation reached 293.5 billion rubles in Q1 2025. That's nearly 6 times the 50 billion rubles from a year earlier. This lets developing economies leapfrog outdated financial systems entirely. Third, the BRICS Reinsurance Task Force. Their first meeting was on September 29, 2025. They are creating bilateral and plurilateral alternatives to manage risks internally: financial volatility, geopolitical tensions, cyber risks, and climate issues, all without depending on Western reinsurance giants. These aren't symbolic moves. This is infrastructure being built right now. What aspect of financial sovereignty interests you most? Payment systems, digital assets, or risk management? Comment below. Now for the twist. Colombia is not joining BRICS. On October the 1st, 2025, President Gustavo Petro made it official. But here is why this actually strengthens the multipolar argument. Petro announced Colombia's withdrawal from NATO. His exact words: "We do not belong to NATO. We are from the South Atlantic and our land is called the Caribbean Sea. What are we doing there?" When asked about BRICS, he said, "I'm not going to be in the BRICS either because the BRICS are oil related." But look at what else Petro is doing. He proposed revising the free trade agreement with the United States. He suspended trade relations with Israel, effectively reforming that free trade agreement. He condemned the US role at the United Nations, accusing America of violating international law in complicity in Gaza. His goal is genuine non-alignment, relations with all the peoples of the world, not just one. This isn't a rejection of multipolarity. It's an assertion of national sovereignty based on regional focus. Colombia is choosing independence from hegemonic power, which is exactly the spirit driving BRICS expansion. Whether nations join BRICS directly or chart their own sovereign path, the trend is identical. Rejection of unilateral dominance. Does true sovereignty require joining a bloc, or can it mean standing completely independent? What's your take? We are witnessing a genuine historical turning point. The unipolar moment is ending. Washington's tariff threats have backfired spectacularly. Instead of submission, they have accelerated unity among nations seeking sovereignty. Even Colombia, refusing BRICS membership, still rejects Western hegemony. Financial subordination is ending, replaced by cooperation among equals. This channel depends on supporters like you. We are not funded by corporate interests. If this analysis helps, support us here or on Substack. You can also help us simply by sharing this with anyone who wants to understand real global power shifts. Thanks for watching.